Hello and welcome to our online worship. I hope you had an enjoyable Christmas. We hear from Matthew today, chapter 2, verses 1 to 12.
In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star in its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him, and calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word, so that I may go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen in its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. Amen, and praise be to God for these words.
Today we celebrate Epiphany, the day the wise men appeared from the east to pay homage to the newborn child. We're less than a week on from Christmas Day, but the wise men were not so quick off the mark. In a story where there are many different beliefs and legends attached, one thing mostly agreed upon is that the average nativity scene is quite inaccurate. The shepherds and the wise men were not visitors at the same time. It's probable there was at least a good 3 or 4 weeks before the wise men appeared. We don't know where they're from. Later tellings of the story give the wise men names and identified them as travellers from other lands. Melchior hailed from Persia, Gaspar, also called Caspar or Jasper, from India, and Balthazar representing Arabia. But that is not represented in Matthew, the only gospel writer to include them at all. How many were there? We only assume 3 because they are attributed to 3 gifts. There could be a lot more. And how far east exactly have they come? From Arabia? From Persia? Further, have they come as far as China? And that would explain why they are so late. They certainly went out of their way to have this theophany, this encounter with the Lord incarnate, to pay homage to this baby born in the most humble of circumstances, to pay homage to this baby, however humbly born to be King of Kings. These wise men, will stick with the usual belief for now, these 3 wise men from the east, because how many and from where exactly they hailed doesn't really help or hinder the story. So the first person we hear they encounter is quite the opposite of the Christ child. A ruler overcome with power and greed and jealousy. A powerful man whose very power is overtaking any sense of decency he may have had to begin with. Who is so insecure despite his power and wealth and privilege that he fears the stories of this child. He fears what this child will mean to his position before he even knows much more than the fact these strangers believe him to be the King of the Jews, believe him to be worthy of a visit. We can presume that Herod has at least enough godliness to recall hearing the prophecies of old. Isaiah telling that these men would come to worship, that they would be from the east and carry gold, frankincense. Isaiah misses out the myrrh. But that there's enough going on here to disturb Herod greatly. But we'll leave Herod for another time. It is the faith of these wise strangers we need to look at. Yet more great biblical exemplars for us to follow. For these men come with great expectations, great hope. Great hope placed on this helpless infant child. New Year is surely a time when we can look ahead with hope, when we can take time to look back on the past year and see perhaps where we have gone astray, where we've gone wrong, where we could improve our lives and those around us, where we can journey ahead, learning from the past. Those three men took great risks in their homage to Christ. They no doubt travelled a great distance physically, but also spiritually. How far spiritually will you go to honour the Lord? Have you come a long way so far? Let's just go that little bit further. Amen. In church this Hogmanay, we will all join in a prayer of examen. A prayer when we look back in order to inform our next step. And I thought we would do likewise here also. This prayer is not one of mine. It was written by John W. Vest, an American pastor, and it takes its form from Ignatian spirituality. There are moments of pausing, so if you do need or desire longer pauses, simply press the pause button. The beauty of technology. Alternatively, just remain with us in the quiet. God of wisdom and truth, at the beginning of this new year, we look back and we look forward. In the year that has passed, we experienced joy and experienced sorrow. We felt blessed and we felt challenged. Some things went by far too fast and some things lingered for too long. Here in our place together, we are reminded that you are present through it all. We are reminded that we are never alone. We are reminded that nothing can separate us from your love. So as we approach a new year, we pause in silence to reflect on the year that has passed. We remember the things from this past year that we are most thankful for. We recall the moments when we were happiest. We consider the times when we felt most alive. We recognise the times we gave and received the most love. We are grateful, Father, that you were present in all those times. We also remember the things from the past year that we are least thankful for. We recall the moments when we felt least happy. We bring to mind the times when we felt that life was simply draining from us.
and we recognise the times we gave and received the least love. We are grateful, Father, that you were present in those times also. Father, on the cusp of this new year, we also look forward to the year to come. We are confident that you will be with us still, when we are thankful and when we are not, when we are happy and when we are sad, when we feel alive and when we feel drained, when we give and receive love and when we do not. God, the world we live in is messy and challenging. It is the world of King Herod, the world of pain, a world of doubt, a world of fear, a world of jealousy, a world of violence, of domination, of injustice, a world of human failings. Yet God, you are with us always. So give us grace and give us courage to live faithfully in this imperfect world. Remind us always of the promise of your kingdom emerging around us and through us. For it is this kingdom that we now pray, using the words Jesus taught us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you for joining us, and a happy new year when it comes. Take care. God bless.